Okay, guys. is emulation just gotten too good? Like, I'm at a point now where it's like emulation for me is so close to perfect 99% of the time. And then we get shit like this, where we get these CRT shaders, these bezel shaders. I got this old school looking CRT, and it's making me smile. And I'm playing the game with the Bluetooth, 8-bit DOE SN30 Pro controller. And it's just like, I hate to say it, but like, why do I need the real thing anymore? I still like collecting, and I like having a collection, and I like having the real hardware. But if I just want to play a game, and my choice is, find the real hardware, find a good way to hook it up to my modern TV, and maybe that means if I want to get some decent decent imagery. It had some serious slowdown there, by the way. I don't know if that's indicative of the real thing or what. This is just a Ryzen 5600G with integrated graphics. And these shaders are pretty demanding. Realistically, I should be doing this on a computer with a GPU in it. I have an extra GPU lying around. My old 5600 XT from when I upgraded my main PC from a 5600 XT 6 gig to a 6750 XT 12 gig. I still have that GPU lying around in the box, and every once in a while I'm like, should I just put it in my home theater PC here? Or should I just keep running the, integrated graphics on the 5600G? Because, for what I'm usually doing on here, the integrated graphics are fine. I'm actually running this at 1080p. This is a 4K TV. But I'm running this at 1080p, and you can probably imagine why. Again, like I said, these shaders can get pretty demanding. And this is nowhere even close to the most demanding version of this shader. There's some things like bloom that I've turned off. And at 4K, this was just like a chug fest. It was running at like, 5 frames per second, maybe. I turned it down to 1080p, and for the most part, it seems to be fine. Again, there was some serious slowdown on that last level. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, it went well. But yeah, if I want to play the real thing, it's cool. I can. But, I gotta find the right AV cables, find my RetroTink. I only have the RetroTink, is it the RetroTink 2X? RetroTink Mini 2X? Basic little one, it just does Composite and S-Video. I've never delved into RGB because, honestly, just the cost. Finding good RGB cables for all your systems, and then finding a good scaler. You'd want at least something like an OSSC, maybe a RetroTink Pro, even better, a RetroTink, what was it called, the 4X or the 5X. Now, of course, they have the RetroTink 4K, which is something like $700 US. And that's cool. If you want to play on real hardware and you want to buy a $700 RetroTink, and maybe that shit looks amazing on your frickin' OLED with black frame insertion, which you can do on that, and you know, obviously upscaling to 4K. But this looks so good to me, even at 1080p on a 4K TV here. And again, I can just grab my 8BitDo wireless controller and start playing whatever game I want. And I don't gotta worry about scaler settings and, again, expensive RGB cables, expensive scalers. This looks just amazing. These modern shaders are just so cool. And the fact I can run this at all on my Hptc without a dedicated GPU. Sure, it's only at 1080p. But I mean, look up close. It still looks pretty freaking cool. Like, it looks like a CRT up close. Even at 1080p. And sitting back here, I don't know if I would even be able to tell if it was, you know, 1080p or 4K. Emulation is just amazing. What people are doing, what people have done. To sit here and play this, looking like this, on a 55-inch 4K TV with a wireless controller, not worrying about finding RGB cables, even if I owned them, getting them out for the right system, getting my scaler set up for the right system. You know, I used to be all about that. You had to have the real hardware. You had to have the real hardware. And, you know, all the while, emulation's just gotten better and better. And we got cool shit like these 8BitDo wireless Bluetooth controllers. And as far as the Bluetooth controller goes and latency goes, I don't notice it. I know Bluetooth has higher latency than wired or, you know, a dedicated 2.4 gigahertz dongle. And I know people have shown that, you know. People have run the tests. And you can see that, you know, you might have 10 milliseconds of input lag with the wire and 20 with a 2.4 gigahertz dongle, and then 30 or 40 milliseconds on Bluetooth. Bluetooth definitely has higher input latency than, you know, even if you've got an 8BitDo with the wireless dongle, you know, a 2.4 gigahertz wireless dongle has less latency than Bluetooth for sure. But this is so fine to me just on so many levels. I can't really feel it. I can't. I gotta be honest. I can't. I know. You know, I know my LCD TV has some latency, and I know my Bluetooth controller has some latency, and I know it's all adding up, and I know, you know, it's not the same as a real CRT. But how many of us still have real CRTs lying around? I have my little Commodore one in my bedroom. But in my living room, on my 55-inch TV here, you know, I'm not going to have a CRT. If you got the room for a dedicated, you know, game room, a dedicated retro game room, and you've got a CRT, that's awesome. You know, all this talk about needing RGB cables and scalers. Just get a real CRT. You don't really need that. If you can find yourself a classic CRT that still works good. The CRT's not worn out. You know, the convergence and the focus and everything is good. If you can find that at a reasonable price, that's pretty cool. If you've got the room for it, you've got a dedicated retro gaming room, that's all cool. Most of us don't. Most of us don't have the room for that, the time or the money for that. Again, trying to find an old CRT that still works well and will continue to work well, not need maintenance. This does the job, and this looks so cool. I just love this bezel. Anyways, guys, so what do you think about that? Have you come around on emulation? I think a lot of us probably have. You just can't deny it at this point. It's just gotten better and better and better, and all these crazy features get added, and these shaders and bezels, and it just ends up looking so cool. You know, can't really deny it anymore, can ya? It's just, it's a great option. I don't think it's a bad option. And, you know, owning the real hardware, having a real CRTs, having a dedicated, you know, legit retro game room, that's a great option too, but not everyone can do it. And emulation is just undeniably good now. So, yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. I'm sure most of you guys have the same thoughts there too. So, anyways, that's it. See you guys later.